What up, what up, what up? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to a brand new episode of Sports Way with Dre Day podcast. I am your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own, Dre Day. What's up, what's up, what's up? Once again, I want to thank everybody for their continued support as I go on this YouTube podcast journey. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. As y'all can see, I have on shades. I had a minor procedure over the weekend. I had a cyst under my eyelid that I needed to tend to and get that thing removed. So the eyes are a little swollen. So definitely didn't want to do this and have my eye being a little swollen. So I'm covering it right now. It's slowly but surely healing, but I still had to, record something. And what I want to speak on is definitely a doozy. So in the meantime, in between time, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, Sportsway with Dre Day Podcast. Hit that notification button so as soon as an episode or a video is dropped, you immediately get a notification. Hit that like button as well. Share the video, tell a friend and tell a friend, all that good shit. Y'all see the title of this episode here. Now, yesterday was Football Sunday, the first week of the NFL season. And I'm just sitting in the room, eating my breakfast, sipping my green tea, and I get a notification from ESPN saying that Kendrick Lamar, K-Dot, top dog, you could say, is going to be headlining the Super Bowl this year in New Orleans in February of 2025. Kendrick this year has already been on a rampage. We already know what he did with Drake in their battle, contrary to what people believe. That you have some delusional fans out there that still believe Drake won that, but I really don't know what to say about them. I just say pray for them. Kendrick has been on he's basically been on an amazing run this year, to say the least. And now you cap this off with the first Sunday of the NFL season, of it being announced that he would be the headliner. He will be performing at the Super Bowl in New Orleans in 2025. Now, with that being said, there's some mixed reviews, mixed reaction as it pertains to this. You have those, like myself, that are very much happy for Kendrick Lamar. When he did it a few years ago with Dr. Dre and Snoop and Eminem and Mary J., he had to share that moment with them, which I have no problem with. That was my favorite Super Bowl performance. On this one, he can just have it all to himself, play his classic records, because he got a couple that he can do, and then go on about his business. There's another side of me, though, where I have to agree with the fans out there that have a mixed reaction as it pertains to this. When you think of hip-hop in New Orleans, there are a couple of people that you think of, right? You think of Master P. You think of No Limit, the whole No Limit Soldiers, Silk the Shocker, Mia X, who was a hell of an MC in my opinion. she don't get the proper respect that she deserves as it pertains to female MCs in hip hop. But do your research. Mystical, C Murder. But me personally, it's Cash Money. Okay? For me, when you think of New Orleans hip hop, you think of Cash Money. But there's one person in particular that everybody clamors over in New Orleans, and that will be Lil Wayne. And there's so many people out there, so many people that are upset, rather pretty much ticked off that Lil Wayne is not going to be performing at the halftime show for this upcoming Super Bowl. Now, I'm going to say this. For the fans out there that are upset, they have every reason to be upset. First of all, it's in New Orleans. Me personally, I personally believe that if the Super Bowl is in a respected person's hometown, then they should be the one to perform there. That's just how I feel. And then when you have someone like Jay-Z, y'all already know how I feel about Hove. When you have Hove and Rock Nation basically overseeing who's going to perform at these Super Bowls, how could you have it in New Orleans and not have Lil Wayne perform there? Now, who knows? For all we know, Kendrick might bring Lil Wayne out. For all we know. For all we know, Kendrick might bring Drake out. I mean, bring Lil. Whoa, wow! I said Drake. For all I know, for all we know, Kendrick may bring Lil Wayne out to do a joint. Who knows? But then if he does that, what does that say for Aubrey? Lil Wayne is his boss. How does that look with Lil Wayne getting on stage with the ops to perform for the Super Bowl? So, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Now, see, for me, I would have loved for Lil Wayne to have his moment, right? It's in New Orleans. He should have been the one performing for this Super Bowl. I'm happy for Kendrick. I'm very much am. Again, with the year that he's having, cap it off with the Super Bowl performance. I get all of that. But there is a part of me that feels like Lil Wayne should have been performing at this Super Bowl coming up next year in New Orleans. Because, see, for me, I got about a good 7 songs that I think Lil Wayne could have done to grace his presence on that stage, and then people would have turned up. He could have did Go DJ. He could have did a Millie. That right there gonna have people in that building go nuts. Okay? He could do Make It Rain. Who knows? Maybe you bring out Fat Joe. Who knows? You do We Taking Over. You could bring DJ Khaled out. You could bring T.I. out. You could bring Rick Ross out. That's another joint with Fat Joe. You could do How to Love. Do a little soft record for the ladies. 6 foot, 7 foot. Like, those are just the songs that I can think of off the top of my head that I felt he could have done. I don't think he would have did Lollipop. That might have been too, R-rated for people. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, this is Super Bowl Sunday. So there's some songs that you might not be able to do and perform on Super Bowl Sunday. But those songs that I just mentioned, Lil Wayne definitely could have did them. He could have even did Bling Bling and then bring out a Hot Boys reunion. That's what we all looking for anyway. And a little birdie told me that they're actually working on a Hot Boys reunion right now, and it's actually going to start in November. So if that's the case, this would have been the best time to have Lil Wayne perform at the Super Bowl, because they could have been doing the Hot Boy reunion and then cap it off in New Orleans on the biggest stage, on the biggest Sunday of the year at the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But listen, I don't want to say that Hove is being petty towards Lil Wayne because Hove has nothing but respect for Lil Wayne. For some people, Hove and Lil Wayne are rivals to each other in hip hop. Me personally, I don't see it that way. Now, there's some people out there that may feel like they're rivals or whatever. I don't think they're rivals. I think it's a mutual respect amongst the two. I mean, listen, Hove done got Lil Wayne out of financial situations for quite some time. No need to get into them. But the point is that, in my honest opinion, I feel like Lil Wayne should have been the one to get this nod to perform at the Super Bowl. Now, again, I'm happy that Kendrick is doing it. Because, again, Kendrick got some classic joints himself. He could do Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. He can do Swimming Pools. He can do We Gonna Be Alright. You know he gonna do Not Like Us. Like, you know, like that's mandatory that he does Not Like Us. I wouldn't be surprised if he close out the show with Not Like Us. But then you gotta remember, this is the halftime show. So it's a window of how many records you can do. You only got a little bit of time to be on that stage. So I think you probably got a good, 15 minutes on that stage. So I don't know how many songs you can pull off in 15 minutes, but I'm sure Kendrick has enough the way he can do it. But again, just for me, in my honest opinion, a very big part of me wished that Lil Wayne would have been the one to get this nod, because I'm sure this is something that he wanted to do. And then again, like I said, it's in his hometown. It is in his city. I personally believe that if you are having the Super Bowl in a specific city, I think you need to get somebody that's from that city to represent and perform at the Super Bowl. It's that simple. What was it? I think a few years ago it was in Atlanta. I think JD was supposed to do it. They gave the nod to Big Boy, I think. You know I'm not complaining off that, because you're not going to find a bigger Outkast fan outside of the South than me. Okay, so I'm not tripping off that. You just had the Super Bowl in LA a few years ago. Who was the headliners? Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, Eminem, Mary J. Blige. 3 of the 5 names I just mentioned is from LA, right? Usher technically isn't from Vegas, but he was doing a residency stuff, his residency shows in Vegas. So it was only right to have him perform at the halftime show. He still was able to bring some people on the stage to share it with him. The same thing could have been done for this Super Bowl coming up in 2025 in New Orleans, and have Lil Wayne up there. He can have his selection of people that he can have join and celebrate with him, with the records that I just mentioned. And who knows? We get the Hot Boys reunion. Who knows? Maybe they do back that ass up. Now, I'm not saying to have females on the stage twerking and shaking their ass, but just to do the song, because if Lil Wayne is at the Super Bowl, you got to do that song. You just have to. You got to. And him and Juvie is cool now. So it's only right that you do that. You cannot have Lil Wayne perform at the Super Bowl and not have that. Now, obviously, I'm speaking it. Obviously, it's not the case. Kendrick is X and Stone. He's going to be the person to perform at the Super Bowl. I'm just speaking for us fans out there who would have loved to have Lil Wayne be the one to get the nod, and just think of certain songs that he could have performed. I'm happy for Kendrick. Don't get it twisted. I'm very much happy for him. And Jay-Z basically had a quote as into why he picked Kendrick Lamar. He said, Kendrick Lamar is truly a once-in-a-generation artist and performer, which he is. His deep love for hip-hop and culture informs his artistic vision. He has an unparalleled ability to define and influence culture globally. Kendrick's work transcends music, and his impact will be felt for years to come. I agree. I agree. I agree with everything Hov said. So even though I am happy that it's Kendrick, there is still a part of me that wishes that Weezy F Baby could have been the one to perform at the Super Bowl. Now again, I could be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? Kendrick give Wayne that call like, yo, you want to get up on the stage and do one of your classic records? Give you a moment? I can see Kendrick doing that. I can very much see him doing that. To stick it to Drake, I can definitely see him doing that. The question is, will Lil Wayne accept? That's a whole different element right there. I can see Kendrick, hitting up Wayne to see if he'll be willing to do that. But then that's a whole different element about the relationship with him and Drake. But that's a whole other story for another day. But once again, congratulations to Kendrick Lamar on being the headliner for the next Super Bowl. I don't even know exactly which number it is. I'm lost at these Super Bowl numbers right now. But congratulations on being the next performer at the next Super Bowl next year in February in 2025 in New Orleans. I know you're going to rip the stage. I know you are. There's no doubt in my mind. I've watched you perform at some award shows when I used to watch awards. Don't watch them anymore. They're not the same. You did your thing at the Super Bowl with Dre and Snoop and M and Mary J. So there's no doubt in my mind that you're not going to do your thing at this performance. So I'll definitely be tuned in. Can't wait to see it. And that's it for this episode. I didn't want to be on this too long. Once I heard about this, I was like, I definitely got to do something. Even though I'm not 100%, I definitely had to drop some type of content to get everybody started for the work week. So once again, just thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportswear with Dre Day Podcast. Hit that notification bell for every time a new episode is released. You get a notification. Y'all hit me up in them comments. Tell me how you feel. Are you happy that Lil Wayne, are you happy that Kendrick is the performer for the Super Bowl in New Orleans next year? Or would you have wanted Weezy F Baby to get the nod? So y'all hit me up in them comments and tell me how you feel. In closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another episode of Sportswear with Dre Day Podcast. Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here. Peace.